And
Yeah.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, we'll get into it because now we're going live, and this is Babe Talk. What's up, everybody? This is Ollie, and I'm sitting here with Matthew from Firestarter. Suppy, suppy.
What's up, everybody?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just hanging out, just hanging out.
Oh, I see a beer. I want a beer. What is your beer choice? Bud Light. The
Well,
part. I think they just.
it's cheap. It's right now it's Bud Light because it was cheap and that was the cheapest thing they had. Because the liquor store right by my house is actually super expensive, and I'm not too stoked about that. But they
Yeah,
have
I wouldn't
beer.
be either.
My choice though, my like for both cheapness and enjoyment is PBR.
Same PBR or a local kind of choices Lion's Head, which I'll actively drink with like friends and stuff. Like what is it? It's like $8 by my house for a 13 pack or for a 12 pack.
Not
I'm like,
bad,
sure, yeah. If I'm paying like less than $1 for a beer, call me poor. I'm
right?
about it.
I got rental for you. I'll drink beer, but that's too cheap.
But it's cheap, man. I'll get to our own beer. So anyway, yes, welcome to Babe Talk. This is the show in which we'll talk to artists and we'll have a great time doing so. We have Firestarter. I really do appreciate you guys coming on the show because you guys have been having a fucking kick-ass past few. I want to say like what, like 2 years? You guys have been doing a lot of fucking work for the past and you guys have been around for a while too.
Yeah, we this past New Year's Eve we turned 3.
Oh, look at you guys going into your toddler ages. Is
Yeah,
that
I
is that
guess
right? Because that.
getting this whole walking thing down. We can kind of talk now, so we can kind of get like snippy with parents and stuff like that. So,
I like that. I really do. That's too funny. Which is very cool. So you guys have been around for a few years now. You're approaching on 3, or actually no, it's just you're now just turned 3. So it's
yep.
cool. I've been seeing the progression on a very low level. I've heard of you guys. I've heard tracks here and there, but I'm now starting to see that you guys are just like blowing up within the pop punk scene, which is very very cool. Slowly becoming a notable name in the scene, especially on the East Coast. Like we have a lot of bands to pick from. You guys are able to have your head stuck out above all the rest of the bands.
We're
That's awesome.
trying.
That's
We're
cool.
trying.
We're gonna get, yeah, yeah. We're getting into all that. But before we do that, we have to make mention to our awesome people over at Terminus Tees. Terminus Tees is an amazing website in which you will be able to find the most amazing people to make you hashtag the best shirt ever. They have amazing people over there waiting to make your new designs for merch. They're ready and willing to make you tagless t-shirts and handcraft stuff. They have a lot of shit over there that you really can't find in other places that just offer you a storefront and like maybe an artist or two to help you out. But they have awesome people, awesome marketing. They're all laid back and chill. They decided to work alongside Babetalk, which is like amazing. So I mean like, hey, props to them. TerminusTees.com. They have sales every once in a while. Sign up for their newsletter. Sign up for their social media. You won't ever miss a post again. Well,
I'll
you
drink a
might
beer to
miss a
that.
post, but drink a beer to that. Drink a beer to that. I had to drink some empty McDonald's cup
Oh.
because my whiskey is over there and I'm lazy. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the whole intro. It's gonna be a little bit of an expedited edition of Babe Talk because not only Matt's in the middle of moving, and
Yes.
I'm actually going to be on an episode of Locals for Life, our rival podcast that is around the South Jersey area. So I get to go tell Jazz to fuck off to his face and give Kevin a nice hug. So it's going to be fun. But right now it's not about me. It's all about Matt, and we're going to just jump into the interview if that's quite okay with you, sir.
Totally fine.
Totally fine. Okay. So I need to get in. I need to get into interview mode because typically it's a little bit different. But I'm gonna get my composure. This is now sit down. Husara. Oh, what was it from High School Musical? Oh man.
I don't even know.
Oh.
I was quoting Anger Management. If you ever seen that movie with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson,
And Jack Nicholson, I've not
yeah.
seen it yet, but I've heard it's a good movie. Like it's kind of like a contrast of actors
And
that
it's
just.
sad because it's one of Adam Sandler's like last like really good movies.
I'll have to watch it because Sandler has always been an actor in which is just like I know there's Punch Drunk Love that I've tried to watch and wasn't able to sit through all of it. But like all the movies that don't encompass his like complete obnoxious self, I'm totally open to. Kind of like Jim Carrey as well. Like
Yeah.
Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine is perfect.
Honestly, Ace Ventura are some of my favorite movies, though.
And you know what? And Liar Liar is one of my favorite movies,
Exactly.
and it still has like his obnoxious self to it. So it's very it's I'm picky, and I also haven't given like any Adam Sandler movies like a chance. Like Little Nicky I've never seen, Big Daddy I haven't seen, Mr. Deeds.
Like, yeah, they're over the top, but they are honestly very funny. I enjoy it. We all do actually in Firestarter.
Yeah.
We quote them constantly.
Well, that's beautiful. Hey, you guys have something to quote.
Yeah.
So you're in a band I heard, right?
I guess like we kind of do stuff like we play shows. I don't know what those are, but we do it.
It's like we just show up, we just happen to have some instruments. But let's get into it. Let's start to dive into who you guys are, who you are as an artist, and how it all kind of comes together, and how you guys are where you are now.
For sure.
For starters, let's start with the your position in the band, and like a brief synopsis of who Firestarter is.
Okay. Well, my name is Matt. We have two Matts in the band actually. I'm the one that plays guitar and sings. Uh, we we started. That was my girlfriend butting in from the bathroom.
I love this show.
And we started 3 years ago in the Albany area. I moved up there for a girl. Big mistake. And I met all the original members of Firestarter through like various friends from the area. I worked with Matt, the other Matt, our drummer, and it's been crazy 3 years because we got together. We wrote the first EP, started touring for it immediately. Went through some member changes, put out more EPs, and now we're here.
And it's very funny because I went to like do the journalistic thing and to kind of brush up on who you guys are, and I went to go look at your bio, and one of the first few lines in which I read here from is that you just showed up to a new area, and like it was also for a girl, but like I'm assuming this was an area in which you weren't familiar with at all.
Nope. Like I literally had been up there once with said girl, and I had just parted ways with my old band. I moved back home with my parents, and I was like, at that point, I was like, well, I need a fresh start. I want to go to someplace new, meet new people, start a new band with new people and everything like that, and just see what happens. And now we're here.
It's so crazy. I love those kind of stories because it's just like, just by pure determination, you want to better yourself and find an outlet in which you would be able to express yourself in a beautiful manner, and then like look at where it has gotten you with your determination to want to do great things. But let's run it back a little bit. Let's first start with how you had gotten into music. What was the initial start?
Well, honestly, for me, like my parents have always been big into music. Like when I was in the car when I was growing up, my dad had like a classic rock station on. My mom had like the alternative like 90s pop radio stations that had like Third Eye Blind and like all those bands and everything like that. And I was like, I was like, I was always like introduced to like rock music and everything like that. And then I heard Blink-182.
Hmm.
Funny story. Enema of the State was my first parental advisory CD as a 9-year-old in 1999.
Oh man,
I had to convince my parents.
1999.
Me and the dude from Tower Records, that was a store back then for CDs, if you remember. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. That's actually
Okay.
that's actually pretty old. Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that? A Tower Records is still a thing. The guy was like, "Oh, there's not a lot of curses on it and everything like that." This is Blink-182 we're talking about. So, like, and somehow my mom was like, "All right, I'll buy the CD," because I had heard like obviously the singles they had put out at the time. I always heard "Damn It" on the radio and everything like that. And I was like, "All right, I like this stuff. This is cool." So I bought it in the state. Literally the entire summer, didn't leave my CD player like on repeat every single time I was listening to a CD at 9 years old. I had Enema of the State on, and 2 years after that, I don't know, like 2 years, yeah, 2 years after that, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket came out. And I
Hmm.
went to my first punk rock show at Madison Square Garden. It was Blink-182 headlining with Green Day and Saves the Day. And that,
Whoa,
yeah, the Pop Disaster Tour 2001. And that is
that's pretty dope.
yeah, that show was like the show I was like, I want to play guitar and play music and like have fun with my friends because that show was
Hmm.
something else. And
And that's actually a pretty good. Oh, yeah, go on. Sorry.
sorry, and like literally like maybe like 2 or 3 months after that, I got my first guitar and just started playing. But what were you
That's
saying?
awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like if there was ever a time to like get into pop punk, of course like it's gonna be during like the very pinnacle of like the I think I've had this debate with some people like the second wave, like the third wave of pop punk, and then to go and see that live, like with Blink in their prime, with like Green Day in their prime, and with
I'd say
Saves the
the day.
Day,
Like that was I
and
think
Saves the oh man,
that was I think they were touring for still I think there was Stay What You Are. Honestly at the time I had no clue who they
nice.
were, but like I didn't really get into Saves the Day until I was older and then I'm like, why did I
Mm.
not listen to them when I was younger?
And it's funny because there are a lot of other like not the old heads, but like the old like the kids in like their 30s that will go and listen to Safe Today and be like, yeah, this is the pop punk that I grew up on, and like it just always has stuck. And I think that all those bands, that's a wonderful band to or a set of bands to kind of like solidify like look at this high energy, they're all over the place. This shit is just wild, yelling. It's that could be very cool, especially at Madison
one
Square.
one crazy thing I
It's
know
huge.
uh, Travis Barker during that show pulled the Motley Crue thing and had his drum riser like lift off the stage, and he was like buckled into his drum set and
Oh,
like flipping in the air and all this stuff like that. And I was just like, "What is
nice.
this?"
And it's funny because back in the day, they had all the money of God because all the record labels was just like, dude, this is printing us money. Sure, do whatever the fuck you want. It's
Like you
beautiful.
like the rock show
So,
video. The rock show video was just like they gave how much money or whatever, and they just did ridiculous shit with it. And it was like, who
hell
gets away
yeah.
with that nowadays? Like nobody. Like no one. Like record labels are just
Nobody.
like,
It
oh,
would be,
here's like $6,000 to record a video. Do whatever you hell you want with it, and then they do that. Like if you did that nowadays,
hmm.
like, you'd be dropped off the label more like faster than I even know what.
Oh yeah, they would propose a budget. Like if they that would be like giving real friends a budget to like make a full-fledged music video and then proposing a budget is be like, I'm sorry, we forgot.
We did this.
No. We did this before. This isn't happening again. So now, so you have this itch. You're around 13 years old. When did you start to play with other people or find?
Honestly, like
Excuse me,
the
grab my towels.
longest time, like in my neighborhood, like I couldn't really find anyone. And then when I went to high school, that's when I started getting into more like that's when I found like Halton Heights, Silverstein, Bayside, like Under Oath, like all those bands because I was introduced to them by a few of my friends in high school, and that like those became like my favorite bands. Like my top three by far: Blink, Silverstein, Bayside, and like that's where I really started like formulating like, all right, this is the kind of music I like. Like it's punk rock, but it's a lot of it's based with like classic rock like tendencies and everything like that, like My Chemical Romance, so like the Black Parade, like the huge like spectacle, like kind of like Queen and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm into this. And we finally found like a group of friends that were all like, we all played different instruments. We had two guitars, bass, like drums, and everything like that. We're like, all right, let's do a band. Like we're pretty local. We only played like a few local shows or whatever, and then we all went off to college. But like it was just planted that seed. It was just like because like it was in my freshman year of college that we were really doing stuff, and I was like, you know what, like I was going to school for computer engineering, and I was just like, I'm falling asleep in every
Mm.
class. Like, yeah, I'm okay at it, but like I'm sleeping through every class. I'm like not like really into it, like. And that's when I transferred to a new school, went into a music program, found more people to play with, started my band before Firestarter, Casting Call. If you've ever heard of that band,
Yes, yes, I have.
we're an easy
It's
core band
not
that talked about burning places to the ground.
the name sounds very, very familiar, and if you say it easy core, then I think my brother would actually know because he's
Okay.
he's like the easy core kid. I'm like the pop punk kid.
Okay.
But that name is sticking out hardcore in
Yeah,
my head, and I'm
we
pretty
did
sure I heard of you guys.
yeah, we did a bunch of stuff, and then hey, I'm doing stuff. Sorry,
I love puppers. It's okay.
I'm trying to grab him, but he's being very like I want to just play. But um, after Casting Call disbanded is when I moved up to Albany and started Firestarter, and that's when I've been really putting most of my time into ever since.
But that's cool. I mean, like you were able to like take what you had known from playing in a band and then just being able to just do like a very and from what I'm seeing and what I'm going to learn soon is what seems like a smooth transition.
For sure, like
Like,
honestly, like when it first happened, like I was just like, shit, I'm not gonna find people. Like I don't really know anyone up here. Like this is weird. Like I
mhm.
had the EP like written for the most part. I'm just like, all right, so I just need people to play it, and like it just like within like 2 months, Firestarter was like a complete band, and I was just like, okay, cool. So it worked out
And
really,
that's actually a
really,
pretty decent timeline too, within 2 months.
yeah. Like so technically, Casting Call disbanded in August of 2012. We played our final show in October, and Firestarter played our first show on New Year's Eve of that year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Huh. But that's pretty admirable though, that like it's just able to it's I mean, when you put it on a timeline like that, that's fucking seamless.
like I didn't foresee it happening like that, but I'm very like grateful that it did, and like what we've been able to do since has been awesome.
So let's now look at so now we're progressed over to now you're in the band, now you guys are playing shows and practicing. Within a matter of 2 months, you played your first show New Year's Eve. And then I'm looking here at March of 2013, you put out New Beginnings,
Correct.
which, if I may ask, is you, you guys are like are very very enjoyable pop punk because there are a
Thank you.
lot of bands that they'll end up like blending together that they end up cookie cutter. And while this does have the familiarities of the pop punk tone, it still is able to stand on its own in the sense of like it's still pretty unique. Like it's familiar, but you can tell that there's like a certain shade that's off from all the rest of all the pop punk that's out there, which I think is very cool.
Like I think like the big thing like because all of us like we all grew up on like the same music like Blink like anywhere from like Blink to Silverstein to Bayside to Sayerson Under Oath like we have all these
Hmm.
different influences and I feel like especially now more so now than we did when we first started are starting to throw those in there but we still like when I wrote New Beginnings the all the guitar work and vocals was myself, and then obviously drums and bass were written on their own. But like all the guitar work you hear on New Beginnings, I demoed out on my Mac in my apartment and all like before I
Mm,
met the guys in Firestarter, and then with like the split we did with Old Again later in 2013 and
hmm.
Forget the Past, like it was more of a joint effort, like with the writing and everything like that.
Nice. That's very cool. So, so again, looking at the timeline, new band, first show, EP's released. I I want to ask how, and well, now I'm gonna how'd you guys how'd you guys come together and put out like such a solid stream of songs, and not only that, but have them like like they were mixed perfectly as well. Like this is like something that you would be able to like shop out like off the bat. Whereas like a lot of bands like they would like to get their demos in and they would like
Yeah.
to like like feel themselves out. You guys hit the ground running with New Beginnings.
That was one thing all the guys joined up and everything like that. I was like, look, like I've been doing this for three. I've been touring. I've been writing music with Casting Call. I've been doing that for 3 years already. I'm not trying to just go straight like start from square one again. Like I know I've learned so much with this band and know what not to do, what to do, and everything like that. Like I'm just ready to like let's get this EP recorded and just do it and just go. And then everyone
Mm,
was just like, "Fuck yeah,
yeah.
do it." and it just worked out really well. Like what you were saying with like the mix and everything are that EP, New Beginnings, the split, our acoustic EP, and Forget the Past were all uh, recorded and mixed by Mike Kalajian. If that name kind of sounds familiar, he did the Years Gone By full length on Rise, and he did
Oh.
Burned at Both Ends by With the Punches. Not Burned at
Oh
Both Ends.
shit.
No, it's not the end of the world. Sorry, that was my mistake. It's not the end of the world.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, you see, and the funny thing is that like you would look at the rest of the timeline as well. There are a lot of bands that within like the first 5 years that they would try and get to the point of where you guys are now. You guys are extensively touring. You guys are on top of your merch and your releases as well, like from talking with different record labels to just get the vinyl out, and that's like, and these aren't like easy feats. Like kids are just like, yeah, we'll just go and get like vinyl press, and it's like, okay, like not good
That's
luck,
a
but
process.
like,
That's a process.
yeah, that's a fucking process. And so far, you guys are just nailing everything so far. You guys are up to like 8,000 likes on Facebook. You guys have a consistent buzz throughout the past few years. It seems like it's just like a great thing. So, like, especially when you're jumping from one band to another, what are the things that you have learned that's worked before and not worked before?
Well, definitely a lot of it just comes with like talking, to, like just down to the emailing and talking to people in the industry, whether it be like people that would book shows for you, like agents, managers, like even like label people. Like I learned so much at casting call. Like yeah, we didn't have like speak to too many labels at the
Hmm.
time, like when we were doing stuff, but like it still gave me like, all right, so this is like what you should say or what you shouldn't say. Don't be like over pushy or anything like that. Just go with it. Like one thing I definitely learned with casting call was like and brought to Firestarter is like just go with the flow. Like whatever the cards you're dealt, just roll with it and just keep going. And like we always have been pushing, like always make sure we have like new music out, like maybe a music video, like after a few months after the release is out, to be like, hey, we're still touring off of this EP. Here's a little video, like this is what we're doing, or like the Forget the
Hmm.
Past music video, like that's like like one of the last pushes. Like, look, this is we still have this record, we've been still pushing it, like we're still having fun with it. We have new music coming, but here's a music video to like kind of tide you over
Hmm.
until then. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you have the marketing down pat.
Trying,
Because like,
trying.
not saying that like I'm an expert or anything, but like that sounds like a perfect timeline to follow when you're in a position like that. It's not always feasible to like like chug out new music because sometimes it just doesn't come natural. So it's makes sense to like keep pimping out the one album that you have out right now. Then like after a few months go by and like you're starting to see like adrenaline in the audience. Then you put out a music video. Then the hype gets back up there again. And then
Exactly.
you tease them with a. I mean, like, and I'll explain it to you. You fucking know how it goes. And it's going well. It's going very well for you guys. So that's awesome. I'm gonna try and keep the smoke up the ass down a little bit while as
It's all
I
right.
explain this.
Thank
But
you.
like it's very good to see a band that A sounds good and B is doing their shit correctly. It doesn't always come that often. I mean, luckily with the Babetalk kids, it does. Hey, what's up? We support the good kids. Not saying anyone else is bad. I'm gonna stop talking, and keep asking questions. So now we're looking at the new album that you guys are putting out. Well, not new, but the recent one that you guys have put out, A
Yeah.
Life Inconsistent, and it's so far it's solid. I've enjoyed it. It doesn't deviate too far off from what you guys have put out in the past, but I mean, like you definitely like have the darker tones that I've heard throughout one or two of the songs. And like, how would you say that you guys have progressed from the first release that you guys have put out to now?
Well, like honestly, like the big thing between New Beginnings and Life Consistent, I feel like we've all gotten more comfortable with like our instruments, like the sound that we're going for. Like we're more like, hey, we want to like flesh out more of that mid 2000s like pop punk, post hardcore, like almost screamo like tone. Because like if you ask any of the four of us, even our new guys, like any of the four of us, like what some of our favorite bands are, you'll hear names like Silverstein, Bayside, like Underoath, Sayison, and like all these other bands that are like, yes, like they have like screams and everything like that. But like if you really like listen to the the music and everything like that, it's very punk and even sometimes pop punk based. And it's just like
Yeah.
why not flesh that out more? Because like we love pop punk. Obviously, we're a pop punk band. Like we love like bands like New Found Glory, Blank, like all that. But like after a while, with with like especially like Forget the Past was like one was like our last like real big push of like this is our pop punk sound. Like we have a lot of pop like that record like is very like punk based with the punk beat a lot and everything like that. We're like, well, let's pull back a little bit, maybe even get a little heavier and like see what we can do with this. Like really experiment with like what we're trying to do, as well as like be like, well, let's kind of sound like some of the bands that we still love today. Like every day I'll get Silver Steam bass that song. I'll still jam the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. And like, and that's also helps in developing your own tone as well, because like, of course, you're always gonna have your base of what you grew up on. Like, was it like the influences which I loved on your Facebook? It says the Tony Hawk's soundtrack,
Like,
so it kind of like sets the tone. So it's perfect. Like all of those albums that came out, or the songs that are featured on all the Thrasher skates getting destroyed, the fucking grind sessions, the Tony Hawk series, all of them had the same punk undertones.
exactly.
And yeah, so you guys will always have that base, but then like eventually when you get comfortable, like you said, you start to get personal with it,
Exactly.
or at least more personal from, because that makes it sound like you guys are insincere, which you're not. It's I think you know what I mean when I say like
No,
it gets
I definitely,
personal.
like it brings out like more of our personality, so to speak, in the music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like as people, more so than like just like this is what we listen to, this is what we want to like kind of like write and everything like that. But this is like more like this is something like we would even like listen to on a daily. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Very true, very true. Well, let's give some of the kids a taste, and then I kind of want to get into the your live shows, because you guys just got done playing. I mean, you guys play a lot of shows to begin with, but you guys have just came off a conference. I think there was a festival that you guys played as well with a lot of like heavy hitters, and it's like fuck, it's awesome. But let's first play a song. It's gonna be Headstones and Old Bones. If you want to give a quick intro to that, this is off the Alive Inconsistent
yeah,
album, the EP that you guys have put out over in June
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 of
of 2015.
June this past year. You got it. You got
Hey, I'm doing something right. Cool.
it.
So yeah, if you want to give a quick overview as to what the song is, let's give the kids a taste.
Yeah. That song, especially for me, is like during when we were writing those songs, like it was like a big learning period for me. Like I was just like, I was just going through like a lot of shit like, personally and everything like that. Like we had just gone through shit with the band. Like we had gone through a set of member changes and everything like that. And it's just like it was tough to see because like I could see a lot of my friends around me like have issues, but not like take it by the reins and like deal with them. Like they just kind of like avoided it. And like that song like really hits on it as like so many people like live their lives to like impress like their parents, their friends, like the people around them, but like just live like the main like thing for me in that song is just live for yourself. Like yeah, you can fuck up in the past. Yeah, you can do things that might not like really be you, but like that doesn't mean you can't change and like actually like follow what deep down in your heart you want to do.
True, and it's a good message. So let's have them hear it. This is going to be Headstones and Old Bones off Inconsistent Life, Firestarter.
And on your one, don't you never forget what you want. And this day and age is not how we were brought up. So make the change, fight through the pain, and make it through another day. So make the change, fight through the pain, and make it through another day. In the world unfamiliar, have to view for yourself. This self-created hell at the bottom of a wishing well. Look in the mirror. Do you recognize yourself? Are you happy with what you see? And the image they tell you to be. I do it. The acceptance from all our friends and loved ones. Don't give in to the way of the world, to the way of the world on your shoulders. So take your time and don't let go, because giving up hurts more than you should know. On the day you die, what will you have to show? Besides the head, so what's left of your old bones? Improve your life before it gets too late. You think I'm lying, no one gets a clean slate. We follow through the things you said to me. I watch you turn blue as you fall apart at the seams. So take your time and don't let go, 'cause giving up hurts more than you should know. On the day you die, what will you have to show? Besides the head, so what's left of your old bones? So make the change, fight through the pain, and make it through another day. So make the change, fight through the pain, and make it through another day. So take your time and don't let go, because giving up hurts more than you should know. On the day you die, what will you have to show? Besides the head, so what's left of your old bones? We find new ways. The acceptance from all our friends and loved ones. Don't give in to the way of the world, to the way of the world on your shoulders. Living on to forget the past, that haunts you. Learn to breathe. Good things won't come until you wait. Find new ways. The acceptance from all our friends and loved ones. Don't give in to the way of the world, to the way of the world on your shoulders. Living on to forget the past, that haunts you. Learn to breathe. Good things won't come until you wait.
Oh, I'm such a sucker for crowd chants. It's not even funny. And like what I love about that is that like it's able to get a crowd like so pumped up, so amped. You get your old school like dog piles going and shit like that. It's beautiful. It's lovely. And like you said before, it's an awesome message that goes alongside of it. But like we were discussing, we're gonna talk quickly about your live performances, past and present and future.
Cool.
So, like I said, you guys just recently came from a musical conference.
Yes,
I'm pretty
launch
sure
mu-
that had some heavy hitters on there.
Yep, the launch a music conference in Lancaster. That was honestly some of the most fun. This is Simon.
Hi, puppy.
But we played the first day of that festival this past Thursday with a little band from Long Island called Bayside.
Which, dudes, congrats. That's fucking rad, as always.
Like honestly, like because when we had submitted for it, I was like, all right, like this is a cool festival. Because honestly, besides like the whole show aspect to it, there's they have like panels and everything like that with like people from the industry, like whether it be management, booking, like show promoters, like people from like marketing and like press places and everything like that. And it was like a very big like learning experience. Like even for like, even now, like after doing like this kind of thing for like 6 years, I still was able to like take something from it, which is awesome. But also playing with Baseline, which I've mentioned multiple times already throughout the interviews, that is one of my favorite bands. I was just like, when we found out, like I got the email, I was just like,
It's like, this is fine. This is great. I'm just gonna casually play with fucking Bayside. This will be good. And now you guys also have an opportunity to play overseas as well. Am I reading that correctly?
what do you mean?
What?
This is news to me.
I see on here that it said you guys are going to be playing in Japan.
So, funny story. I think there's like this band from Japan that's also called Firestarter that comes up on our song kick sometimes.
Okay. Because I'm like, oh, I see you're playing at my place pizza, which I know used to be PJ's old venue. That's the only place in Poughkeepsie I know, because
Okay.
my old the band I used to do photography for played there, and if you play in Poughkeepsie, and you're bound to meet an individual called Pizza Jesus.
Oh God, Pizza Jesus. He doesn't work there anymore.
I know, yeah, and that's what I was like, oh, I know that place, but I think I spoke to
I actually just never knew his name.
there's
I just called him Pizza Jesus.
yeah, well, we're on a short name basis, PJ. The one time I met him,
But,
but I mean, like, yeah, I was talking to another Poughkeepsie band, and they were just like, yeah, Pizza Jesus, he's cool, he's awesome, he doesn't work there anymore. I'm just like, oh man, it's depressing. But yeah, so either way, like, you guys have been playing like a lot of shows just to begin with, just to like, just trying to get your name continually out there, and it's does great for your buzz as well, at least as far as I'm seeing.
I mean, it definitely helps because like playing shows and always like announcing shows and everything like that. Like people are just like, oh, okay, so you're playing there, you're playing there. Hopefully, like a lot, like even like when we announce shows in like the Northeast, because right now we're busy writing a full length, so like we're not like trying to stray too far away from the Northeast. But like every time we announce a show, like someone's like, oh, when are you coming back to like California, Florida, like there's places like that. Like honestly, like I wish it could be tomorrow, but we want to finish this record first, make sure like if that's all good to go and everything like that, and sort through all that stuff before like we really get back to the road. But we actually just announced yesterday. I don't know if you saw that we're added to the New York City date for the Pure Noise Records tour with Hit the Lights and Seaway at the Webster Studio.
Yeah.
We're very
I
excited for
saw that colorful photo.
that. Hmm.
It's so good because you guys are jumping on great bills, and this is gonna be like the bills that are gonna be able to provide you guys with just more connections. It's playing with bigger bands, and all the kids that have seen you around the area, because they've seen you around the area now, they're just gonna see you now synonymous with other bands as well. So now it's getting them used to seeing with you guys like with Bayside, with Seals, and if it comes up with Hit the Lights, if they end up doing more music after this. CC Way, who's kicking all types of ass now.
Yeah,
So
they're
now you guys are like,
we play with those guys. I think like at least by this point like 2 or 3 times. Like but the last time was like at least maybe like fall of 2013 at this point. So it's good that we'll be playing with those guys again. We played with Hit the Lights also in 2013, actually, ironically enough, but earlier in the year. So it's nice that like we're playing with these guys at the end. And honestly, I grew up by New York City, so like the fact that like we're playing Webster Hall like just like means a lot to me in general, because like that venue just kicks ass in general.
yeah, it's a fun venue. It's nice. It's intimate. It's cool. And so like so in a sense like everything's coming full circle for you at this point
Yeah.
on a low scale. That's awesome.
Hey, it's better than nothing, right?
That is very true. That's very true. But you guys are getting everything right now, which is great. So, real quick, tell all the kids at home where they're able to find your social media.
Okay, so on Facebook, it's www.facebook.com/firestarterny. Twitter and Instagram are at the tags at firestarter_ny. Tumblr, like we're not like too active on Tumblr. We just use it mainly as a website, but that's firestarterband.com. And just search us up on YouTube. You can find our music videos, like streams of all of our releases and all that good stuff. Did I miss any? Am I good? I think that's everything, right?
I'm 99% sure you have. Oh,
MySpace? Does anyone have MySpace? I don't think we even have MySpace.
Nah, but what about the Bandcamp, Matt?
Oh, Bandcamp, yes. Firestarterny.bandcamp.com.
And you guys would be able to actually pick up their entire discography if you want to, which I highly suggest.
You
At
get
like
$13
what?
altogether in one shot. Saves you some money.
$13, you get everything in one shot. It's so worth the listen. Everything they put out thus far is so good. It's so on point, and it's only getting better from this point on. I highly suggest you stop sleeping on Firestarter and start to get into them. Matt, I thank you so very much for... And just for full transparency, Matt's been trying to get on the show since like fucking October.
Yeah,
And,
we've
like,
been talking about
Firestarter is like, And what I love is that like Firestarter's like up here with popularity, and Babetalk's like down here. And like every time they try and get shit together, it's just like, hey guys, can we come on the show? It's like, yeah. And I'm just a jackass who just isn't able to handle his email correctly. Because we talked like a few times. We're like, yeah, we'll get it working. And then it's like, oh, I didn't email us for a month. Okay. But I knew that I wanted to get you guys on the show. I knew that you guys have been doing kick-ass things around. Yeah, I'm very happy that you guys came on. And if you have any new stuff that comes out, please let us know. We will be more than happy to help promote it, because it's all about promoting good shit that happens in the scene, and you guys are good. You guys, you're not shit. We like promoting not shit.
But it's much appreciated, man.
Well, absolutely. Very excited to. I will hopefully be up there to see a show. If it's over at Webster Hall, I know James Boss, my co-editor in chief's around the area, so he might drag me, and it's close.
Yeah, and it's New York City.
I take a trip up to New York.
What's not a good excuse for a good show in New York City? You know.
True, and I'm in Atlantic City, so I mean, like, it's not like it's too far fucking away.
I don't know how far. How far is you from Long Branch?
Good question. I've never been up there. I've been to New York City more times than I've been to Long Branch.
Okay,
but it's in Jersey. I do know it's in Jersey.
That's why I asked. Because June, I believe, I think it's 6th, we're playing Brighton Bar.
Oh, Brighton Bar. I've heard of it, and I know it's a popular venue around this area. Like outside my area.
Yeah.
Because like my area is like the Boneyard and like
Okay.
Grand Fromage, and it's none of these bars. Yes, it's near. I will.
General vicinity. I think it's city or there, right?
Yes, exactly. It's closer. Either way, I'm gonna stop talking. Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody, if you did not get a chance to listen to, if you didn't get a chance to listen to the song, I really suggest you listen to this EP, A Life Inconsistent. It's very good. Go to terminustees.com. Go get yourself an account manager. Go save some money on some t-shirts. Get some high-quality designs on them. Go talk to Rebecca. Tell her that Ollie's cool and that Rebecca's cool and that everyone's cool. Check out Terminally Trill, which is Becca Dinas. She's actually doing some cool shit. And I will see you guys next week, because I don't know how to end the show. So this is the end of the show.
It just continues next week. There's no goodbye. It's just like, till then.
There's no goodbyes. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, why now I have to say goodbye. Fuck. Bye, everybody.